You're listening to the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast, featuring real business owners telling real stories about their real business experiences. Here are your hosts, John Chiappetta and Eric Jorn.
All right, welcome to the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast with John Chiappetta.
And I'm with Eric Jorn.
Welcome. Hey, John, can you tell us a little bit about our sponsor of the podcast, Kaizen CPAs?
Kaizen CPAs is a full-service accounting firm. Obviously there's payroll accounting, bookkeeping, and advisory work that we do. The one thing that I think that really separates the Kaizen CPAs from the average CPA firm is that we really dig into our clients and get to try to know them and develop that relationship so that we're offering the best possible things that we can. Not only are we talking about how maybe giving some insights on how to better their profitability of their firm and what tax avenues to take to make sure that we're not paying more to Uncle Sam than we have to.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll dig down into anything to help business owner just deal with everything they incur on a regular basis, whether it's just, like you said, generating more profit, could be revenue generation. Hey, is this really a good idea? Should we go down this venture? And I think that's where we separate ourselves a little bit. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And so, with that, Eric, what is your relationship with Kaizen, and maybe how long have you been here?
Yeah. So I am a partner with Kaizen CPAs. I'll be coming up on 9 years here at the firm. Started off as a staff accountant, worked my way up, and became a partner last year prior to our merger when us and SCL merged together. I came from, prior to getting into the accounting world, I ran a automotive repair shop section for a Toyota dealer. So I like to bring some of the experience and knowledge that I learned in that world back to my clients, especially in that automotive repair industry. But
so you have a niche in automotive repair, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I can walk into a shop and it feels like yesterday when I was working the service drive and making sure we were getting cars fixed right the first time.
Right. So for me, actually, I started off a long time ago in Antioch, Illinois, as a CPA, and through a series of mergers, I found myself with SCL before merging with Kaizen just recently in this past year. But I not only do I have the CPA, but I also went and did the CFP, which is a Certified Financial Planner. So I do work with a lot of my clients on their investments as well. But on the accounting side, I probably worked a lot more with restaurant owners. That one kind of fell into my lap. Just I have a lot of my family that has been in the restaurant business, and it's so oddly as well as before. Actually, I had a lot of real estate agents actually as clients. So I kind of have those two niches. But one of the things with when you're working with people and we've really been able, like I said, really dive down into the relationship, and I've carried that through on the investment side as well.
Awesome.
So thinking about that, Eric, a lot of people have been asking us, why a podcast?
Yeah.
What are you guys just jumping on a bandwagon? So why are we doing this, Eric?
Yeah. That's a great question. So we consider ourselves business advisor first accountants and CPAs. So we take the track of educating and helping our clients as advisors. And by doing or becoming an advisor, the number one reason or what made me become the best advisor I could be was working with all sorts of different businesses, seeing their experiences. How did that translate onto the P&L and onto a tax return? And then getting to know them, figuring out what their goals were, what they were doing to achieve those goals. Just a vast amount of experience really helped me develop into an advisor. And then, in the education phase, we want to create content for our clients and for all their small businesses out in the landscape. And we thought, what better way than to take those stories that I've learned and that John's learned over our careers in this industry, bring them in, have them talk to us about it. We just have a conversation. How did you start your business? And I really think that that'll provide us provide a lot of value for our listeners.
Well, absolutely. I think that everybody's got a story and everybody's got a journey that they go through to get to the level where they're at as a business owner. And, obviously everybody reaches different levels. So, maybe you learn one thing from this particular interview that we do with somebody, and you can apply it, and maybe that'll make you a better business owner.
Absolutely.
So I think that is a big main reason for the podcast, and an opportunity to give our clients an opportunity to shine in their business as well.
Definitely. Hey, can you dive in and just tell our listeners, what's the structure of the podcast?
So, obviously we've already discussed a little bit, but each podcast that we do is going to be an interview-based podcast. We'll have our clients and non-clients for that matter on the podcast, and we'll kind of walk through, their business and some of the different things that they do. Maybe they have a certain marketing angle that they took, or there's a process they put into place or something like that. So we'll have our guests come on and speak to that. And typically we'll keep to a 30 to a 60-minute length of time as far as the time that we'll be with our guests.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds like a long commute. Nice opportunity to get a little listen in. We might also at times bring on some guests that might have some expertise in the small business landscape that we feel could really provide some value for our listeners as well. So anybody who brings a resource or knowledge base, from time to time, you'll see them on our podcast. And we might even bring on a couple of the CPAs and advisors from the firm and see if we can get some nice anecdotal stories of some experiences they've had and how that could help a small business listener.
So how can our listeners find us, Eric? Where's some of the avenues that we're going to be on?
Yeah. So if you have any questions, or maybe you want to be on the show, you have a small business, you want to tell your story, you can find us on one of our hosting platforms. You'll likely find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and a host of other platforms. The website's a key place where you can access find us and reach us, KaizenCPAs.com. You can leave comments on there. We have a contact us form, so you can click that, submit it, get in touch. Or lastly, our email, bsb@KaizenCPAs.com, and BSB stands for Blood, Sweat, and Business.
All right. Well, great. I think we've given our listeners the opportunity to get acclimated to our podcast and figure out some ways to get a hold of us. So I really appreciate your time and listening to this introductory podcast to the podcast. So
it's like a meeting for a meeting.
There you go.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and buckle in, get ready for the ride.